So I'm on Hollyoaks now, and then, man, I was late a couple of times, yeah, but it's not part of my culture. But yo, I got fired for grassing someone up for telling a racist joke.
Is that really what it was?
Yeah, this is exclusive for you here, bro.
My name is Nick Nagaka and you are locked into Culture TV. For the culture, by the culture. Let's go.
David Judge, man like fudge.
Yes, you good?
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. No.
It's weird because we got to start it, innit?
Yeah. Serious. It's not started with someone just like barking down someone's ear and like kind of cornering them into having to have the conversation, innit?
Right, so like I said 2 minutes ago, I think the way we need to start this today is we need everyone. I want everyone who doesn't know your history, and it's a big history, exactly where you've come from and sort of what your current situation is now. So you're an actor, writer, screenplay?
Yeah. What does my CV say?
Yeah, big CV now, innit?
Yeah. Actor, screenwrite, playwright, spoken word.
Yeah, spoken word.
Just working with the words,
Bit of
innit?
poetry and that, bit of clicking and that.
That's it, yeah, man. We're all from the same pool, though, innit?
Exactly,
like, a lot of people ask me, how'd you get into writing? How'd you get into it? And it's like, well, how do I get my ownership of the English language? Because I didn't get it through GCSE English through no English degree.
No, definitely
It was like MCing on the corner to keep warm.
Exactly,
To like old hysteria to packs and shit. And
it's mad,
that kind of
innit?
slang and that kind of language that you create there, we've all gone through to kind of make careers off that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even the generation below us and stuff. But
Don't you think it's weird though that it's kind of like the most unlikely place that for us, for example, we've both come from the same place in that we've both come from like music, rhyming, MCing to where we are now in like, obviously I'm still MCing and then doing this as well. You're acting mainly and screenwriting.
Yeah.
But like we've both come from grabbing that piece of English that we never learned in school. Like school was a write-off.
Yeah.
To mastering it and taking it way further than you would ever in a traditional academic sense would.
Yeah, well, check. It's a need to tell stories, isn't it? Like I've kind of been thinking about this recently, and like what is like folk music, folklore, and it's the sharing of stories between cultures. Yeah. And for a man like me and you, we've got we're like first generation of our culture. Yeah. Like I've not got mixed race parents. Yeah. Like one of my parents is white, one of my parents is black. So growing up, I had a lot of shit to figure out that there wasn't a book writ about. Yeah. There wasn't really anything given. I could choose black. Yeah. I couldn't choose white. Yeah. I was always going to be working class. Yeah. But then
we're the real first generation of mixed race people in this country. I mean, there were some beforehand, but they were scattered and but we were the first mass generation of mixed race people.
And they need to hear stories about mixed race people, and they need to tell my story about being mixed race as kind of ended up, it's accumulated in all of these word plays that we had when we were on the corner MCing, from them being inspired from stuff that we've seen, like just from being in the arts, from having friends who are in the arts, being from Manchester, and then like, being proud about your story and wanting to tell it.
And that became Sparkplug.
That became Sparkplug, So man, so I started acting when I was younger, innit? We talk about like being at school, not working for us, and I chose to be an actor because...
When did you start acting? What
professionally,
age?
Man, I got...
like when did you like, not professionally, but like when did you say, you know what, this is me, this?
Remember Keenan and Kel?
Yeah.
Man used to get hype, like that.
Bro, I just did an article with Vice on Keenan and Kel, the weirdest thing ever. Like,
I swear to God, I used to come home from school like, orange tuna, orange soda, who put the screw in the tuna and all this. Yeah. And then like, you had Jim Carrey in The Mask and shit. Yeah. And then you had like Leonardo DiCaprio, Romeo and Juliet. Yeah. And I remember like being 14, 15 and like, starting to like certain films, and I sat with one girl and watched Basketball Diaries, which was about a bit like a baghead and that, and
it was sick,
I was just
film.
like,
that was his first big film, wasn't it, Leonardo DiCaprio?
I think so. It was the first big film that stepped out to me. Do you know what I mean?
And he looked young, skinny, scrawny, like
it's good. It was just good, and it was like it wasn't. for me, it was a story I know. I don't know if you remember a show on the telly time ago called Band of Gold, like on ITV back in the day.
Yeah, we were kids then, though.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have even been watching that.
We shouldn't have been watching it, but there's a woman called Kathy Tyson, mixed race woman.
Yeah.
And she was just hard and staunch, and I was like, she looks like me. She sounds like me. She's an outcast like me.
Yeah.
Maybe I've got a story to tell in that world.
Yeah.
So like at school, I was naughty. I got told I wasn't allowed to do my English GCSE.
Yeah.
So I was going to get chucked out of school. And my drama teacher was like, you can do your English work here. And she told me to get onto this thing called National Youth Theatre.
Yeah.
So I went down there to National Youth Theatre, and it was the first time I started. First time I was out of my safety bubble. Mum was with like people connected to the royal family, rich people, people from West London.
And they're like, yo.
Mate, I was there with like patterns in my fade. Yeah, I had 110s, like, and like I remember them going, "Oh, should we go and have a smoke?" And I was like,
Rupert, come on, let's go outside and have a smoke."
Yeah, and they had like Levi's jeans and like these white trainers, and they all sat on the grass.
Oh, Rockport.
I had Rockport. They were man. But I was just thinking, do you know what? I needed to kind of change my approach.
Yeah.
And that was when I started writing spoken word, because MCing was intimidating them a bit.
Yeah.
And I found
out. Really?
Yeah, because it was just fitting my stereotype.
So is that why you went to spoken word?
Yeah, dude, I remember these two guys from
Wow.
London, and they went, let me show you this, man. And they showed me this spoken word, and I'd never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that just felt more.
Nah, no way, I never even knew that.
Yeah, it was gangster. And then I went to theatre school,
Yeah.
And it was just surrounded by more knobheads.
Yeah.
And there was a poetry competition every week that the voice coach did in the bar at the pub.
Yeah.
And like the winner got a pint in it.
Yeah.
So 2-2s now. I was writing this like diary, but it was like spoken word, angry little. Do you know what I mean? That knobhead over there, I don't know. Blah. So I was dissing all the people in my school through my diary, through like these poems, and then I'd perform these poems on the Friday. I won every night for a year. And I was just like, all these people applauding me, and I'm kind of talking about them, do you know what I mean? Yeah. And then, cut. So I started acting, got onto Hollyoaks, got fired from Hollyoaks. We'll get back to that at one point.
We'll get back to that.
Do you know what I mean? But then, like, writing brought me back to life, innit? And,
because you've people who in the industry who will see where you are now, they'll just see you as like, oh, he's a successful actor, writer. But I know your journey, bro. We've been friends for a long, long time. Yeah. I know this hasn't been easy for you.
Mate, it's all hard for everyone, innit?
Yeah. But I know for you to get to where you're at now, this hasn't been a straightforward path.
Nah.
It's been a lot of ups and downs, hasn't it?
Yeah. Like, you man,
But on the surface, it might look that way to someone who's just stepped in now. See, he writes for Coronation Street.
Everyone's got that though. Yeah,
he's that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Everyone's got that swan effect in it. Like on the water, it looks cool, but underneath the paddling to fuck in it. And
everyone just sees it. Everyone just sees the final product.
Sorry, is my language all right?
Yeah. No, fuck that. We swear all the time.
Right, safe.
Fuck shit, bastard, whatever. Say whatever you want. Nah, it's fine. But like, I was just thinking, like, everyone just sees the final product. No one sees that to get that one win, that one W, it took 1,000 fails.
Yeah. Look, it's hard. It's hard not having a rich aunt and living in London, innit? Because you don't get every job I've got. There's 10 you haven't. And 5 of them 10 jobs I've had to go to London to audition for. And that's a day out of your life. That's a one on the train.
Yeah.
And it does add up. Do you know what I mean? When you're keeping yourself available, because if you get a serious job to kind of replace that void of a rich aunt or that financial security, then you have to be committed to that. So
do you think that's why actors full of rich people? The acting industry is full of rich people primarily.
Sort of, yeah. So's tennis. So's all these things. Yeah. It's like it's good, innit? But it's not like. But then I go home to my dad who graphs for pittance, and it's like, we're in the arts. There's got to be a privilege to it. Listen, it can't be for the privileged, but there is a privilege to be blessed to be working in this. And we should all be entitled to have a go at it. But maybe it's not for everyone to be on the front line. Arts can be something you receive in a way. Do you know what I mean?
Me and Jay were saying this on the other show on the Rundown, like, everybody wants to be an actor. Everybody wants to be an MC. Everybody wants to be a DJ or a producer. Everybody wants to be famous, right?
Yeah.
But not everyone can. Not everyone can win.
No.
Just because you want to be successful in a particular, especially in this game.
Yeah.
I'd say acting's harder than music. I mean, music, don't get me wrong, is one of the hardest things you could ever do to make money out of and become successful. It is fucked. But acting, at least with music, is what I say to Hayley quite often, that at least with music, you can make your own music, you can market it, you can put it out there, and there's a level of control.
Yeah.
With acting, you go into a fucking audition. You're being told yes or no by somebody else is deciding your future for you. Do you know what I mean?
And it's not even your future; it's the immediate future.
It's like, am I paying rent next month?
Yeah. Because like,
John, can I pay rent next month? Do you know what I mean? Nice.
Yeah, man. It's it's difficult, man. And if I wouldn't choose to do this looking back at it now, but everything's better in hindsight. Nah.
Would you not have been
no way. Nah, I would have done something. I would have been creative, but whether that's commercial creativity, I don't know.
Even now that everything's you're in a nice place now. Even now, after you've got to this point where you do it, you've done a lot of big jobs. You've established yourself as both an actor and a writer. Even now, would you say, you know what, fuck that, it wasn't worth the hell?
Nah, I can't. I'm too far in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if I had to give advice to a younger me or to a kid of mine, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd say, look, you need creativity in your life.
Yeah.
But for me, it's about what can you do to be in control of that creativity yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if I would have done something else, anything else to give me that financial stability, just from early in the day, like even something that's not truly legal. I've seen men I know who've got to a nice established place from having to work in places that they didn't want to begin with. And if I would have just done that,
a lot of music man come from that.
Yeah, I could have my own creative hub. I think the idea would be to have like your setup here, man, is nice.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? To build on something like that, to have your own people, your own kind of crew, your own generation.
Yeah.
A place where you don't have to apply for grants, you don't have to win a competition, you don't have to be gay, black, under 30, whatever. You just need to be passionate.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
have
then
to tick
from
some
that
box or something.
and from that, like, develop your own work, and if it wants to go commercial, if it's worthy of going commercial, then it should do. But for me, it's the pressure of it needing to sell for me to stay alive right now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking, would I advise my daughter to go into music? And there's no way I would.
Do you know? You definitely wanted to have music in her life, though.
Yeah, but I mean, like, as a career, which, like, if I think about the slog I've been through, I mean, it's fine because everything's blessed now. I'm fine. I'm in a good place now. Life's cool. Can't complain at all. But it's been hard.
Yeah.
And it's not been. I mean, you could say, oh, it's all part of the journey, and a lot of people do think like that. But I like nice things. You get me? And it hasn't been easy to get this far.
Do you know? See, when I was at theatre school, there was this guy called Brian Asprey, man. He was a legend, South African guy. But it was like week 1, and these guys were like, "Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, Brian." You talk about we should only be here if it's our passion, really our passion. I mean, how do we know what our passion is?
How do we know if it's mummy's passion?
Yeah. And he literally, in this like South African Afrikaans, I'm not going to do it, but he was like, whatever you think about when you're having a shit, that's your passion.
Really?
He was like, and I was like, what? It's like, whenever you sat on the toilet there, whatever you can't get out of your mind, that's haunting you, that's your passion.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you know what? Sorry to take it to the toilet there, but I sit there thinking about things I could have done, like, jobs I could have done better 5 years. I'm thinking, bam, that's what the director meant. Yeah. That's that note. That's what I could have done.
Yeah.
And actually, your passion isn't necessarily something, I'm going to wake up and be this today. That's a hobby.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Your passion should
it's what you can't get away from.
Yeah. So then when we say, would you choose to do this? Yeah. It's like, there's no choice in doing it, really. It's the only thing I've got to do. And it brings me back to that kind of folk that need to tell stories and the need to express myself. Do you know what I mean? We're from Manchester. We know people from that person is Liam Gallagher. That person played for United.
Yeah, exactly.
That person ran Factory Records. Why can't we?
Yeah.
Like I'm not down with this. What do you want to be when you're older? Oh no, you can't be that. Well, now I'm from Manchester, mate.
You can do whatever you want, mate.
Yeah. Someone's uncle's done it, so why can't I?
That's the thing about Manchester. When in this city, there's an ambition that if you want to do something, no matter how crazy, Mancunians will do it.
Yeah.
We'll do it, no matter what it is. Yeah. And if it is what I be the biggest in the world, we'll do it. We'll find a way. That's why we've got the 2 biggest football clubs in the world. We've got the biggest musicians in the world. Some of the biggest actors in the world. We live in a city that's about 10 square fucking miles. Like, do you know what I mean? There's only 500,000 people actually in city Manchester. How have we had such a massive impact on the entire planet?
Mate.
Do you know what I'm saying?
People like me and you, bro.
Yeah, you get me.
What it is.
That's what it is, bro.
But let me tell you about this poetry at the theatre school anyway.
Yeah.
And like, listen, I ended up writing it in this like red shiny book, innit?
Yeah.
And it ended up back in Manchester.
Yeah.
Now, I'd been fired from Hollyoaks.
Yeah.
I wasn't really getting too much acting work. And the parts I was going up for was like...
How much did that affect you?
Massively, man. Like, I'd gone from earning like 100 grand a year to nothing. And like I say, it was...
You didn't save nothing either, did you?
Did a fuck? Nah. It's not for saving, man. I'm not from that culture.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? What, I'm going to save it until I'm 60 and then not be able to rave on it.
Yeah.
Like, what, be able to dance on my money, man?
Yeah,
Pardon me. But I've not got them responsibilities. It's just me and mine, innit? And like my life experiences there will inform my art and my folk and my story. But people will start to go to you, they'll go, listen, if the right part's not there for you, write it yourself. And I didn't want to be one of these.
What's interesting about your journey, and I think it's kind of where I always find that me and you've always had so much in common, is that when you took that L with Hollyoaks, when you got fired, most people, 99% of people would quit that industry forever. They'd try and get a few jobs realizing this is hard work, it's not happening, and they give up and they go and get a job, or they go and think, right, I tried my thing, didn't work out, fuck it, I'll do something else now.
How long has it been now? It's been about 13 years, isn't it? Let me tell you something now, So, man like me, I went down there with National Youth Theatre and that, like, that's like getting signed for England schoolboys.
Yeah.
And like, without being a dick, I didn't really look up to Hollyoaks.
Yeah.
All my other boys are getting big parts, becoming Doctor Who and stuff like this.
Down on it. I remember when you were in there.
I didn't want to be a soap actor. So they asked me a couple of times to get involved. Will you put some muscles on, get your ears pierced and a fake? Nah, not selling black, man. And then like they come again, this with gold teeth and shit. Nah, smile you later. And then man, old rent and that in London. Excuse me. And man, I was poor in London. I got a banging theatre job in London at the Royal Court Theatre. It paid like $4.20 a week. Yeah. My rent was like $1.50 a week. Yeah. Travel was like $50 a week. I still had to shop at Greg's, do you know what I mean? Yeah. And then 2-2s, Hollyoaks come back with the next offer. And it's like cheeky chappy guy come in with a goth sister. And I was like, right, I don't mind painting that image. Mixed race guy who's like odd job man. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? He's not selling you weed.
It's not a million miles from who you are. Anyway.
It's not a million miles. And to have a little goth sister, I thought, let's do this. So anyway, so I'm on Hollyoaks now, and then man, I was late a couple of times, but I wasn't. It's not part of my culture. But I got fired for grassing someone up for telling a racist joke.
Is that really what it was?
Yeah, this is exclusive for you here, bro.
What? I always thought it was because you were late.
Yeah. That's the official thing, innit? But I like 2-2s.
So who said, rah? Yeah. What was the racist joke?
So we had a new director coming on to set, a guy called Waris Islam. Yeah. One of the DOPs who'd been working for that production company.
Asian guy, Waris. I'm guessing.
One of the DOPs who was working for the company over 20 years. We had some downtime, and he came out to like actors who were playing our family, and he was like, "Hey, we've got a new director coming in today." We're like, "Yeah. War is Islam. It's interesting, isn't it? War is Islam. Let me know if he's got a backpack." And I'm like, bro, you can't say that on set,
Channel
man.
4?
Yo. So then I had to like, but you know me, like we can have a humor privately, which is privately, do you know what I mean? And I trust who we are and what we're saying. So I
in a commercial setting like that,
I didn't want to grass him up, but I wanted to give him the heads up that that's not right. Anyway, I spoke to like our kind of team captain. I want to unofficially just let him know, you have to speak to human resources. Went to human resources.
So you went to HR?
So I had to go to HR. Can you sign here? It's like, nah, I don't want to do this. Do you know what I mean? But we've heard it. You have to sign it. Signed it.
Shit.
Yeah, man. The next day, the guy comes straight up to David. I'm sorry if I offended you. Nah, bro. That's not. I'm so sorry if I offended you, David. I really apologize for that, brother. Like, it's not me. It's just heads up, man. Any one of us, we're all of colour in that family. Any one of us could have been related to Waris. You don't know our ethnicities. Do you know what I mean? And then a week later, so the woman who was running HR A week later, she was acting producer. I was late. I got fired.
Wow.
Yeah,
The woman who was running HR was acting producer. And she fired you.
Yeah. Wow. And it was my third warning, and I just took it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
but bare people will have been late more than 3 times.
Loads.
I know what went down in that place.
Yeah. And then so like they escort you off the premises, so you can't start a riot, innit? So you can't go to your family and go strike. I wasn't even thinking that. I was in tears and that, thinking my dad's gonna be embarrassed. But they escort you off, taxi back to Manchester. I was like, yo, I live in Liverpool. But get in the taxi, literally 10 minutes, my agent rings me, David, News of the World have been in touch. They want to run a story about how the only people who've been fired from Hollyoaks are the 3 mixed race guys.
Yeah, because my man as well, didn't it?
Yeah, Devon and the guy before him. And she went, don't answer the phone. And I was just kind of thinking, how did the News of the World know already? Because the Hollyoaks press office, yeah.
They would have put the story out straight away.
Yeah. So I can't sell it.
So how quick? And that was when you were just leaving. So you were leaving Lyme.
10 minutes in the taxi.
10 minutes from Lyme in the taxi. And then your agent rings you and says the News of the World are already on it.
Yeah.
So they must have planned it.
Yeah. So anyway,
how would they have the press release ready?
Do you know what I mean? It's part of a press officer's job, I'm sure.
But not that quick. Surely you can let the dust settle, let the guy get home, take his coat off. Do you know what I
mean? Mate, it's a business, innit? You'd think they'd have some care for you, but nah. Not the way I saw it, but
that's
like
crazy.
You say, it gives you every reason to go, nah, back up.
Institutional racism is real in the field, mate. And it is the most realist thing ever.
So I just filmed Romeo and Juliet with the National Theatre.
Yeah.
Like, and
I seen that.
Yeah.
It was on Sky. It's everywhere, man.
Man played Tybalt, you know.
Congratulations,
that's a little dream come
bro.
true. Thank you, bro.
That's sick, that, man.
But
big adverts everywhere, all over TV. Go on, fudge.
Mate, it was sick.
That's massive, that, man.
But like, so I don't. Yeah. I'm gonna try and. But anyway, man's on set, yeah, and like one of the actors comes and sits next to me, and like looks around, and counts the people of color in the room, and goes like, yo, 6 people of colour here. That's progress, isn't it?
Was the guy white who said that?
The woman was white. Yeah. I was just like, Ras, what makes you? But there's nothing I could do, man. Like, there's status, and we're in the workplace, and I just went, I don't think it's in front of the cameras where there needs to be progress. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Don't know why she's saying progress in American to me. Say progress, dickhead. But then I felt hand-tied and I should be able to pull her up in it. But like, and then 2 twos, there's another bit now on this when we're filming like the masquerade ball, innit?
Yeah.
Man, looking at me, she goes, David, you've got a nose like Michael Jackson's there.
What?
Yeah. So, and I'm having to be professional, yeah? So I'm thinking, and it's right, like, so it's just like the peaking on the top of, but anyway, I'm thinking, white Michael or black Michael?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you.
So,
which Michael are we talking about? There's about 3 Michaels in his life.
I says, white Michael. She went, yeah. I thought, Ras, that's the worst one, you know, you deserve an uppercut right now. But I just had to take that. You have to take it. And is that my lesson learned from Hollyoaks? Because listen, she ain't getting fired before me.
Nah, she's not.
And if I cause the fuss, something's got to be appeased within the company.
Do you really want to be getting fired again for a big job like that? Nah.
I've come back before, bro. Nah, listen, I just want to be real to myself. I think that's the most important thing. I'm going to put it where I see it.
But this is the thing, right? See, I'm saying to you that now, right? The fact that that's even in my head is fucked up. Don't you think? Don't you think that the fact that I've even got to say to you, you know what? Is it worth it?
Is it worth it? Is it worth it? But then, so like, remember George
Floyd?
What
I mean?
Yeah, lockdown back in the day, and they had like George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter movement and stuff. Yeah. And so me in this industry, all of a sudden, cause we talk about this stuff. Yeah. And I try to talk about things. I still love my white family, man. I'm not like anti-white, and I'm not committed to being black. I'm trying to figure out what I am.
You're as white as you are black.
Yeah. At
the end of the day.
So I don't buy into too much of it. But then, so I got all these text messages. I wish I had one to show you. David, hi. Really affected by what's going on around the world at the moment with George Floyd.
Just want to let you know.
I really want to be a better white person. And some of the conversations we've had, just I thought maybe you were the person to reach out to. And I was like, I definitely am. First thing I did was like, you need to watch that thing on Channel 4, the school that ended racism or something, big program, it's the start of it. But it was like, my answer was, look, I'm part of the same society.
Yeah.
Do you get me? This racism and stuff, it comes from like fear and survival, and that's all painted on what society tells us is scary and what society tells us is safe. And I'm part of a society that tells us black is scary and white is safe. So we've all got the work to do. But anyway, there was a lot of us in the industry, a lot of people of colour who got these kind of messages and reach outs. And there was one woman called Rachel Delahaye, a playwright, a screenwriter.
Yeah.
She wrote this thing called Noughts and Crosses on ITV.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Sick, that.
She's wicked. And she decided to write a letter to her white best friend saying all the stuff that she couldn't say face to face, innit? And then...
To her white best friend?
Yeah. And I think that she might have did it in a podcast like this, and then it caught a bit of fire. And all of a sudden, a few different artists in London did the same thing. They wrote a letter to their white best friend. Yeah. And in the theatre, the Royal Court in London, what they did is they got these letters together and they got white actor on stage and give the actor the letter and got them to read it out, like blind on stage in front of an audience.
Really?
And it was called My White Best Friend and Other Letters Left Unsaid. So now it got like printed, it's like published, there's the book of it, it got performed in London.
I'd like to read that.
Well, there's a northern response, Leeds Playhouse, Liverpool Everyman, Royal Exchange.
Yeah.
They commissioned 6 writers each. So they commissioned me in it to write a letter to my white best friend. So man's like fighting the cause out here now, innit?
Sick.
But it's getting performed. You wrote it? Yeah, it's getting performed a week on Saturday at the Royal Exchange.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm coming.
Along with, Yusra.
Yeah.
She's got one. Cheryl Martin, she's got one. But it's going to be big.
Yusra's sick, man.
Yeah. But this kind of, it was interesting that actually there was a need for this and there was a response to it. Do you know what I mean? And like, yeah, my response is interesting, innit? Because I don't believe necessarily. It's good, man, making everyone work in it and revealing things about my family. Like my dad, my white side of my family, my dad will declare down that I'm his. You mind, David? You need to have your own kid. I said, well, Dad, if I want to be anything like you, I'll adopt. Do you know what I mean? You've unofficially adopted me. You think I'm yours. I think you're a big man. So if I want to be like you, I'll adopt. I can do it as a single dad. I don't need this 2.4 family. Like the world's a different place.
You can do it whichever way you need to do it.
And he'll be like, but you don't know what it's like having your own. You got to have your own. I go, Dad, you've got none of your own. Do you know what I mean? You're a mentalist. And then his side of the family found out they had that gene that carries the cancer.
Yeah.
And like all of the judges, they all went, checked in with the doctor, checked in with the cancer, went and got the things done. My cousins got the things removed, mastectomies and all this. Yeah. And like, not being insensitive to cancer and stuff, but not once did my dad say,
you need to get checked.
Yeah, because it's such a taboo for him to go, after 38 years, for him to go, David, maybe we need to find your black dad to find out his gene. And I get it, my dad's a man of the 70s, he's never gonna say that, but this is the shit we need to start doing. Like, these are the little things that are gonna help us. We can't just keep pretending like an elephant in the room. Because what if I just go off and find you did that, so I'm gonna go and find my dad. Nah. But the divide that could put between us, do you know what I mean? So I kind of wrote about this. And then I went on with that stag do. He was getting married, went on his stag do the other day. And I kind of compared it to this. There's this other kind of thing that we need to do, which is a bit of hard work. But on a stag do, we got on clay pigeon shooting in Newcastle. I took Lance in it, mixed race, best mate. So white guy, stag. One of the guys, Withenshaw, said to me, this is the kind of shit that people think they can say to you. Do you know what, dude? Do you know what I've always fancied? I've always fancied a blackbird with ginger hair. But they just don't exist, do they? Mate, who the fuck do you think you are speaking to me like that? And obviously I can't say nothing. It's a stag do. This guy's trying to be nice, believe it or not. He's trying to engage with me, do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, right. And I've called this thing that you have to do a trembling squat. It's like, I can't really stand up and fight it. I can't really sit down and ignore it. So you have to kind of be in a trembling squat all of your life, like riding this bullshit. And what I'm inviting my dad to do and everyone else is fucking get in the trembling squat, because we can't just sit down or stand up. We've got to ride through this. So we're on this stag do, and the guy with the fucking guns, and he's teaching us about the guns, and he goes, hey, if you do it like this and you pull it down, do it like that, and if you do it wrong and you don't do it like I've told you, then it'll hit your face, you end up with 2 black eyes. And then he turned to Lance and he went, but you've already got 2 of them, haven't you? Like, I double took, everyone looked down, me, like, nah, they laughed. The guy was like Roy Chubby Brown or something. He kind of peppered throughout the session. Listen, my jokes are kind of racist, so if you get offended, you better get taxi back. So we all kind of accepted that he was going to talk about cocks and balls and whatever. And then he dropped that, and everyone giggled, and me and Lance looked down, and I've kind of gone, look, man, we couldn't do nothing. I'm the best man, it's a stag do. We're fucking 20 miles away from the city. I can't kick off. Lance can't kick off. We can't spoil the fun. It's your stag. It's your day. But yous could have.
Yeah.
You could have said, yeah, that's out of order. Trembling squat. You could have got it sorted. We all need to tremble together because we can't keep doing it alone. Do you know what I mean? So I've kind of wrote about this in my letter, which is going to, people see a title, oh, letters to my white best friend. You get all these guilty white people going in expecting to be fucking lambasted for an hour. And it's not, do you get me? I'm talking about something totally different, something that we all need to work a bit more towards, do you know what I mean? Or together. And it's not easy.
I think I think that whole trembling squat analogy, like, as a mixed race person, I get it in, because it's not just from the white side that you will feel it from both sides. So like, I might be with white friends and family and I'll hear shit.
Yeah.
But then I might be with my other side and I'll hear shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't really, in whichever scenario, unless I'm with, like, it's like man like us.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like, oh, we've got license to say what we want because other people think we exist in both worlds.
Exactly. And do we have license to say what we want?
I don't think we necessarily do, but I test the line every now and again, do you know? But if anything, just to provoke shit. I think if we're doing stuff to provoke it,
it's like 007 of the Raceland.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But yeah. But then when we think about like that racism that exists outside of our country, which is a bit more blunt, they're like, I don't mind black people as long as they're in Africa. Like, it's when they start mixing is that they don't like. So we're like the receipt of the worst case.
America's a lot worse.
Yeah. We couldn't. So I've got this. I've just been made associate artist of a theatre company that produced Sparkplug, the play that I wrote, and they've given me like a 12 to 16 month associate artist. And
what does that mean?
So it means I get like a part-time job to book about and do what I kind of want to do.
Come with ideas, basically.
Yeah. And I had this idea. I got asked once if I was to apply to the Arts Council, what is it that I would do? And for me, like, I'd want to find out universally what this mixed race means. So I like going to my spoken word, my open mics, and my poetry usually provokes conversation. So what I would do is I would write a poem that would invite people to have a conversation about being mixed race, and then I would go to Manchester, to London, I'd perform this. I'd take Lance, or I'd take someone with a camera and we'd record the night. We'd get mashed up with other poets. Do you know what I mean? It would we'd document it.
Yeah.
Then I'd go to South Africa. I'd go to Cape Town. I'd go to Johannesburg.
Sick.
I find, because they're Cape coloured over there. They're not worried about being a mix of anything, a blend of anything. They're fully Cape coloured.
Yeah. So it's weird, that, isn't it?
Yeah. And then I'd go to America. I'd go New York. I'd go Los Angeles. And I'd get, listen, light skin, you ain't nothing mixed, you know? But then hopefully from whatever I gather from that, from other people's, from the confrontations, because I know the conversations won't be easy all over the place, because there'll be people who are telling me I'm denying my blackness or something or other.
Yeah.
So, and then come back and kind of write a play from that's about what it is to be fucking mixed race on an international basis.
Yeah.
But for part of this associateship, for this part of me being an associate artist with with Box of Tricks, we're just going to keep it on a national scale. Yeah. So my aim is to do Manchester, Liverpool, Newcastle, Cardiff, Glasgow, Belfast,
proper
London.
Tore the shit out of it then.
Yeah, do a 2 weeks.
It needs to, man.
2 weeks in a bus, rock and roll, and just go and provoke the conversations. And like I say, it probably won't be the event. It won't be the poem that's the important thing. It'll be the bits of conflict and the journeys afterwards. And if I take mixed race artists with me, like Lance, to do some documentary or something, we'll be having conversations about our own identity on the way. So for me, it's really important, and that's done.
Don't you think it's weird though? Like in Africa, like you were saying just then about like Cape Coloured, they see it as a whole different thing, because their lineage is so much older.
Yeah.
And it's the same in India, but all the ex-British colonies, they've got mixed race people who mum and dad were mixed race, granny and granddad were mixed race. Great granny and granddad were mixed race. Yeah. So they've got generations and generations of it. So they become their own thing.
Yeah.
And they will look as white people as one thing, they'll look at black people as another thing, and they will not see themselves necessarily as a combination of the two.
Nah.
They see themselves as like, we are.
And that gives them identity.
This gives them identity.
50 years ago, they were bottom of the chain, and they might still be like not publicly, but privately, they might say they still are.
Yeah.
But actually, they're just people now in South Africa with their own identity that we've not got.
Yeah.
I can't call what I've been allowed to call myself has changed every decade.
Yeah.
Like other people telling me what I'm allowed to call myself.
Do you remember when we were kids? We were half caste.
Half caste, coloured.
And then
mixed race,
and then it's mixed race in like 2005. It became like, all right, you can't say that anymore.
Dual heritage, BAME. You can take
BAME
BAME and you can shove that somewhere, man. Like so, blacks, Asians, minority ethnics. Why are the blacks and Asians so special?
Yeah.
Why do we get our own initials and everyone else gets boxed off into something else?
And why are we just minority ethnics,
mate? It's out of order.
I want a box,
and it's about to become BAME. Yeah, blacks, Asians, minority ethnics, and refugees, bro.
Nah.
Yeah.
Refugees.
Refugees. Get them all in.
Bruh.
Get them all in.
They're going to put the homeless in as well.
It's
next.
difficult, man. It's difficult. And do you know what is it? Genghis Khan wrote a book, The Art of War. Yeah. And one of the big, I've not read it, but I've watched a couple of films where they quote it. The biggest thing in that is divide and conquer, innit?
Yeah.
So like, what's happened since we grew up? Oh, do you know what? Working class people need an opportunity. Oh, now forget working class people. Black people need an opportunity. Oh, now forget them. Now Asians need an opportunity. Now gay people need an opportunity. Now forget gay people. Now we need transgender people. Now, boom. And what we've done is we've got us all fighting for a certain pot of money.
Yeah.
For the same pot of money. And and actually we also be
women
fighting
as well,
the man. Yeah. Like the man is not a man, it's the 1% in it. And what the 1%'s done is got us all fighting amongst ourselves for whatever's left.
Keep them at the 1%.
Yeah. And it's
Here's
fucking
a few bones, fight for it.
myself, I had a beautifully honest conversation with another actor on a job, we used to get in dead early. And
he got in dead early?
Since I've been late, mate, I'm an hour early and I let everyone know about it all the time. But this guy, he was older than me, like middle-aged. He'd been teetotal for like 10 years. He goes to A&A meetings and stuff. And this particular morning, he said he was up at 6 o'clock in the morning. He had like a committee in his head talking to him. And I was like, what was the committee chatting about? He went, if I'm honest, David, can I be honest? I went, yeah. He said, I look around the room that we're working in. It's like a cast of 20, all different colours, different sexes. And he went, I look around the room and I go, she's here because she's a woman. He's here because he's black. They're here because of this. They're here because of that. And he says, and I know that's just an intrusive thought, but it's just going on. And I went, Trevor, I went, brother, respects, man. Because I'm sat there going, I'm only here because I'm black.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, and then when we furthered the conversation, he said, look, I was of the generation that were coming down to break the elitist. Like he was a working class Geordie. And he was getting all the parts that were left behind from the middle class, upper class people. And now, as times have changed and equal opportunities have kind of swelled up, he's not got no parts anymore because he's a white man. Like all the parts that he was getting as a working class white man are now available for the black people and for the gay people.
So he's lost his position as a box tick.
Yeah.
Because nobody cares about your box. Doesn't need ticking anymore.
Yeah, and my dad's that same guy. My dad's a white working class guy who people look at and think, and it's not
classism's kind of disappeared, hasn't it?
I think it's all empowering and everything. I think like racism is the front of it. Sex, like
then sexuality.
Like if I've got more than everyone else, I don't give a shit what anyone else is doing or what they look like. It's once someone else who looks different to me has got more than me, then I start to find reasons to blame them rather than myself for being a lazy bastard. Do you know what I mean? I go, they shouldn't have more than me. They're not from the right colour to be around here and they've got more than me. Whoa. They don't have sex with the person my God says they should have sex with and they've got more than me. Well, shut up.
It's been going on for thousands of years, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's just, you know what it is? It's just getting more localised and more intense because they control us through this. They can get anything out to us, any information they want out to us as and when they want it, as fast as they want. And it's through this that we now create groups within social media, within frigging WhatsApp. We're all becoming in splinter cells.
Do you know what? But jealousy is a powerful thing, and like people don't admit to it whilst it's less dangerous. Once that becomes bitter envy, it can start destroying you, turn you into an internet troll, you can start quitting shit. Do you know what I mean? Because you get bitter, and then you start to turn into, well, I was never going to get it anyway because they were always going to get it. And like,
which is bullshit.
Yeah, man. And I'm honest with myself, and I look through social media, scroll down, and I'm like, Ras, they're working. They're working again.
Bro,
they're working again. And I'm like, do you know? And I have to be honest with it. But then, during lockdown, pandemic, my industry was non-existent. Yeah.
Did you retrain?
Yeah. Listen, it was my best year. I started writing Coronation Street. Started filming Romeo and Juliet. I've wrote a Manchester version of The Wire for Sky.
You smashed it during COVID.
Smashed it, and I got a job at the National. Now, the one thing I've always wanted to do is work at the National Theatre. And you see when people get the job at the National Theatre and they post this thing, my office for the day, and if I'm on the South Bank, and man, every time I've gone for the audition, and I'm thinking, can't wait to get this job and fucking post that picture. And man, lockdown, and I got all this work, and you know what? I didn't post none of it because I know how it can make people feel, and I know how people, and I think I know people are posting stuff to me. I don't want to make people feel bad, man. It's not like, oh, I've got a job and everyone's working. No one's working right now. So it was kind of hard. And when you said just before we started here, we're going to big you up and talk about your stuff, it's kind of hard because, some people have found obliteration. Do you know what I mean? And you do want to jump up and down and go, yo, smashed it. And the worst thing about...
Also, you got to take your place as someone for people to look up to.
You've
got to own it.
Mate,
at the end of the day, because you've worked hard, you've took the L's, and then you've got your wins, you've paid your dues.
Just check what was sick now, yeah. So we did Romeo and Juliet with the National Theatre.
Yeah.
And they send a package out to schools, so a copy of the film and some workshop material and stuff. And all the schools do it as part of their GCSE drama or whatnot. And then all of a sudden I got a message via Facebook, or someone got my email, a head teacher at a school, and they were like, David, man, you've inspired our year group. They didn't know, to hear a familiar voice in Shakespeare, they were buzzing. Is there any chance you could come in and say hello? And I was like, do you know what? Just off my own back, I was like, yeah, I'll do that. And then I told someone, and I've got a friend who worked in education at the National, I said, I'm going to go and see this school. And they went, are you going to see a school? I went, yeah, I'm going to go and see them. She went, wicked. Can you go and see some more for us? We'll pay you, don't tell them. And I said, that's what I'm getting paid. And she was like, loads of schools want to see you. And I was like, shit, Now, not one of them was in Manchester. I think the closest was Wakefield, I went to Wakefield, Sunderland. I went to all these places where there's no black community. So when they're going, recognisable voice. Oh, it was working class. These guys, it was just, they heard a Mancunian working class voice and felt, Ras, I can do that. On
Romeo and Juliet.
They thought, I can get involved with that. And for me, I was like...
It made it relatable.
Bro, I was buzzing because you get all these BAME organisations and all this and these competitions. Oh, come and do this for BAME. It's like...
Come and do this for the BAME group.
But I'm from a white working class estate in Cholton. Do you know what I mean? And actually... making theatre and making the arts tangible to them, that's massive, man. And I would have done it off my own back.
You've done it for free.
Bro, and now I'm like, so I got my agent, the National Theatre also do this thing. Every year, they commission 10 writers to write a play for young people. And every young theatre company across the country can apply to put the play on. So I got asked to do one. It's going on next year. And I wrote this play, man. It's called Chatback. And it's for young people. And listen, I did it with the National Youth Theatre when I was 21. And did it at the National, and we won, and I met Sophia Okonedo and Martin Freeman and all these people. And I got my agent, that started my night. I was on the Olivier stage at the National Theatre. Well, last year I just worked on the Olivier stage twice, and I commissioned to write a Connections play for the National Theatre. It was fucking massive. So all of a sudden I'm starting to engage with young people, which I think's massively important because they've got an access to information and a normality of race and sexuality that we didn't have growing up. Wasn't in our music growing up. At least we talk about listening to Hysteria and stuff like that. It's homophobic. Do you know? So we've travelled a long way in our social culture. And actually now I'm engaging with young people who think some of the stuff I'm talking about's got cobwebs on. Move beyond yourself. But that's good, man. It's challenging. Because sometimes if you're just working within your peers, you just kind of create your own bubble of gas and gas off yourself. So man's been on that Romeo and Juliet there, gone out and engaged with the young people at the schools. I've got 30 young companies doing my play over this next year across the country.
Sparkplug?
Nah, it's called Chatback.
Right, doing Chatback, Chatback.
And it's just, I'm just buzzing, man, and I can't wait to engage with that crew a little bit more.
Nah, bro,
do you know what I mean?
that's what it's about, though, man. It's about once you've got yourself to a position where you can filter that down and elevate the next generation. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nah, man, bro, this has been massive.
Ah, respects.
Sick.